Today is the day the trial truly begins. Stephanie has taken the stand, and she'll be back tomorrow to speak more. We still haven't seen the video of it yet in the back seat. Maybe we'll never see that, but we will get reports on what happened that day from her. And we go to Twitter. Victoria Bikempis is the name of this tweeter, and very informational stuff happened, and she put it all in a nice little thread. Good morning from the 100th Street of Jonathan Major's domestic violence. Big takeaways from the opening, and there's a link to an article, but I'm going to go by this thread here. The proceedings are supposed to start at 10 o'clock. We usually see Majors and his girlfriend, Megan Good. Jonathan arrived, gray suit, Bible, notebook, black top, big t-shirt, Billie Eilish. The jury is entering the courtroom. Here we go. Breaking. The prosecutors call Stephanie McMahon to the stand. A lot of you guys don't know why I call her Stephanie McMahon. It's because I did a video, or I wasn't calling the victim by the name at first, but then I did this in this video back in June. Complaint against his assault accuser and ex-girlfriend. They say her name again, and we're not going to say her name. Why, Dwayne Johnson?
It doesn't matter what her name was.
And what is she after primetime players?
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
Because she's nothing but a what, Chris Jericho?
The filthiest, dirtiest, most disgustingly skankiest, brutal, bottom-feeding trash bag hoe!
We're going to call her Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon, in which he alleges that So Chris Jericho refers to Stephanie McMahon as that. I played along with it. I also didn't want to use the alleged abuse victim at the time, that name. But even then, I continued with it because it really isn't about her. This is systemic. The district attorney who saw this case, saw the video, saw everything, and said, I'm going to try it. The cops who were there and they said, you know what? He strangled you, didn't he? He strangled you, didn't he? He strangled you, didn't he? It's really not about her. She's not the attention of my ire right now at all. Not her. Jonathan Majors is against the system. And when he wins this, DA Alvin Bragg is still there. His rookie Kelly Galloway, Perez, all these prosecutors, they're still part of the system. They need to be the ones who are the focus of what happens here on the Chillmonger channel. Both sides are doing a little stipulation on evidence first. She's not in the courtroom yet. Then Stephanie, who accused Jonathan of assault, has entered the courtroom. She smiled at her family. Majors is looking at her as she's sworn in. I guess that's worth reporting because Johnny Depp wasn't looking at Amber Heard. He said, "You will never see these eyes," he said. Oh, he's British too. See? Some British guys I like. Some British, they can kick rocks, bollocks, fly a kite, up your kilt. Scottish. So far, the testimony Stephanie is describing how they met on the UK set of Ant-Man. I don't much care about that. He got angry at me. How dare I mention him? How dare I talk about his dog, talking about the physical appearance of my ex? I mean, that's got nothing to do with March 25th. Let's skip to the important stuff. She also claimed that Majors threatened suicide. Majors threatened, like he would kill himself after getting angry at her. That this happened on more than one occasion. She effectively said that this drew her in deeper. Oh, well, I just didn't want to leave him because, bruh, is that why you chased after him? Oh, you were chasing him. You were going after the man. When he left the car, you decided to be with him because you were worried about, you were concerned for him. I don't know. I saw this video here. It doesn't look like he's wanting anything to do with you, and he's getting completely away, running away. Nothing. I don't even know why you're on this street. I was trying to get back home. But okay, so you were just concerned for Jonathan continually. I see what Stephanie, you're not so bad after all, Steph. So the jury has to believe those words. She keeps dabbing and tapping on her eyes just so that there are no tears, because no tears are being formed. But if you can get them really quickly, you can make it appear as if, well, the reason you don't see tears is because I keep succulently scooping on these towels all of the water, all of the dehydration. I'm trying to be smart. I'm trying to use big 5-syllable words. All of the water, the tears have salt in them. So what are they? Sodium chloride, dihydrogen monoxide. That's what she's just scooping up. Science monger. She put his emotional needs first and, at Major's urging, didn't tell anyone, fostering her isolation. Oh, see, again, that's why there's no records, because she was told you can't tell anyone, and she's a good girlfriend. Not telling anyone, and that's why there's no records of any of these suicidal Jonathan Majors history. A jury may believe that. Remember, we're not racist. I don't know who these 6 human beings are who are part of the jury. I don't know where they're leaning, where their biases are. I don't know. Oh, by the way, she makes a mistake here. She says, I felt really dependent on him. I felt like every time I saw them, I was lying to them. You were also in another country. Don't tell me you were pulling back from your friends and family. You're in America right now. Your job requires you to be in different sets on different places and far away from your family, and you had this before you've ever met him. Victoria said that they broke for lunch, and she gives us a link to her article on Vulture. We're now on March 24. This is the day of the incident at the, because remember, guys, it was March 25, but since it was midnight, March 24 is the same day. Stephanie describes the morning. They had brunch, they walked around. It was a really nice, really loving and sweet, a really nice day. Sounds good to me. He paid, I'm sure. When they left the apartment for Brooklyn that evening, his mood changed. How convenient. In the elevator, as they went to the car, I wonder if she said lift and not elevator. Stephanie said, he commented on my outfit, saying I had too many buttons undone. And you and I both know the only reason that's part of this because she was wearing clothing that included buttons. So the prosecutors were suggesting, hey, I've been in many of these cases before. Just mention about how the buttons that you had were a trouble. Make it seem like he made issue out of those. It doesn't got to be true. We don't have to have it recorded. We just know you were wearing buttons that day. So the jury can see that buttons were worn in that video and they can be like, oh, I can see why. Yeah, I can see him saying stuff about the buttons. She says that she buttoned a one up. Something had shifted. All right, something shifted on that day. Majors revealed he was angry that she had spoken to one of his friends, Priya, about his behavior. Stephanie said Majors revealed he was angry that she spoken to one of his friends, Priya, about his behavior. Priya is the name of Jonathan's attorney. So was Jonathan's attorney friends before she took this case? That's weird. But there could be a lot of other people named Priya. I don't know. Then he allegedly threatened actually, let me stop. If it was actually Priya, I believe Victoria Bekempis would have noted that Priya is the same Priya who's the defense attorney. I think. And I'll wait, stay tuned. We'll hear more about that if it is the case. I'm sure she will update or somebody will update about his behavior. Then he allegedly threatened suicide again. Oh, the day of the incident is the day he threatened suicide, which is why she was always trying to be with him. Now, ignore the 32 text messages that she sends about him, how she threatened suicide. Ignore all that. What's that got to do with anything? That was the same day Jonathan attempted suicide. I felt sorry for him that day, which is why I kept trying to get involved with him, trying to get back with him. I was concerned. He was suicidal that day. Guys, look at the numbers of suicides and the demographics. Black men who are 30 don't really, not statistically, generally, that's not what happens. But statistically, generally, white women complaining that a black man hit them falsely is more common. After calming down, the evening seemed to go okay again. Then came the return car ride to Brooklyn. You see, he had to have calmed down so the evening would seem to be okay. That's why when the defense attorney cross-examined, all right, so then why didn't you leave that day? No, he calmed down. Everything was okay again. It's okay. I thought everything was going to be good. That's why. But, I didn't have to do anything drastic. I didn't have to tell anyone anything about it because he calmed back down. So we're all good. But hey, let me plant that seed right in there that she saw him being suicidal. Okay. Then came to the car ride to Brooklyn. Okay. So remember, guys, they had a few drinks. I believe they were out for the evening. And I don't know how drunk, I don't know how intoxicated he was. I don't know how intoxicated she was. So I wonder how many drinks each of them had if they had drinks. The return car ride from Brooklyn. The allegations Steph lays out in her testimony echo the prosecutor's openings, charging documents, etc. She says she saw a sketchy text with a song. She took the phone. There we go. Initiating contact from her own mouth. She's the one who started it. And that Jonathan allegedly roughed her up. Thank you for using allegedly, Victoria. Twisting arm, striking head with open hand, etc. No, don't give me no etc. I want to know every detail. So if she has been struck with an open hand, that's what I want to know. So if I'm reaching over for a phone, my hand does need to be open to get it. Now, in the video, if you see that he reaches over, pretend this is her face, but this is his hand. In the video, he may be going over and making physical contact with her, and right here, like this. And if they want to accuse that of being like a strike against her, that's I don't know. The video may prove that. You guys watch pro wrestling. You guys see when they get punched, they don't really touch each other, but it looks like it. Same thing in a video. They can convince you that he was actually reaching over her. But anyways, open palm. I believe he was going and grabbed his phone. They were in a very tight little back seat. Not much places to run, not much places to get away. But when the car stops, he amscrays. She's pulling and tugging at him and even ripping some of the buttons. Speaking of buttons, ripping buttons off of his coat, which he has video photo evidence of. And there's even a video on the street corner that someone who works for Insider named Laura Italiano got to see the video and reported it. That there's a street corner video showing that the car has stopped, the Escalade, and he's leaving, and she's yanking and trying to get him back inside. That should be part of the evidence that they show. But again, what's she going to say is, no, he was suicidal the whole morning, so I had to bring him down. I couldn't let him go away. I cared for him, which is why I went to the club. Bottle full of bub. Victoria says, I'm fast forwarding a bit because there's been a lot said in a small amount of time, and people keep asking, claiming that the prosecution is ignoring that Steph went to the club post-incident, and they haven't ignored it, brought it up too. The prosecution asked Steph interaction with the strangers whom she met on the street after chasing Majors. Here she is meeting the strangers. Why she went to the bar with them? Yeah, why did you go to the bar with them? They're trying to establish that she wasn't there to party, but because strangers wanted to console her. Plus, she didn't want to be at home alone. Yeah, sure. Yo, jury, are you guys watching this video? Can someone from the jury like Google and YouTube Jonathan Majors? Hopefully my video comes up. Do you believe this? That she was dancing at a club, which is video evidence yesterday that the digital assistant was trying to not show you that she was also there dancing, that she spent hours there, and the only reason she left there was because she got to see Jonathan's breakup text. Jury, are you guys watching? Hey, please breach the rules that you're supposed to not be a part of this internet or searching online. Forget that. Watch this, jury. She's lying to you. She was being offered many times from the people there to take the Uber. Hey, let's get you home. Listen. She runs his credit card up $800. She steals his Rolex later on. This is false information, and the DA should have never put you 6 jury members in front of this case. They also wanted to address any questions about how a person in pain could have chased after someone else and gone out. She knew there was pain, but it didn't register. Adrenaline, right? Okay, that is a believable thing to say. I've danced on pointy shoes my whole life. That's a problem. He didn't injure your feet. I don't care how much of a callus you've built up there in your lower body. I've danced with a broken rib. He didn't hit your rib. You said he lacerated your ear, remember? And then your finger had a fracture. But the doctor says that this happened by yourself. Stephanie's testimony has ended for the day. She'll be back on the stand tomorrow a.m. Jonathan's completely innocent. This man, I'm not even a big fan of this guy. I'm not a fan of the Kang character because it's a race swap casting, and those race swaps are never full time. For example, Michael B. Jordan played the Human Torch, and the Human Torch at the next Fantastic Four movie gonna be a white guy again. So don't waste all the resources, the very finite, scarce resources, on black castings if they're gonna be playing characters who are not gonna remain that way. It's not representation. Actually, it's like it takes away from representation. It is a detractor of one in the name of and in the guise of, look, we're holding it down and we're being progressive, when really what you're doing is allowing for the few spots, a little on the pie graph, that they need to be like 3% black for that quarter, and they did it because they hired a black actor to play somebody white. Now they don't have to worry about hiring black anymore, and there's no long-term benefits to the false temporary attendance representation like there is for like real representation, recast T'Challa. So I'm not a fan of Jonathan Majors, but this man better win this case. He is going to win this case, no doubt. I promise you. I will. If Jonathan Majors loses this case, this J is going to become her name. I'm going to spell her full name, her last name. I'm going to stop saying Stephanie. I'm going to put some respect on her name. It's going to be Jabbari. I'm going to add an extra R. Let me roll that R. Respect her Iranian heritage. I will. If Jonathan Majors loses this case, that's going to say her name. Hey, man. Look out for a live stream coming up. I've reached out to somebody who's in the courtroom to try to get that opinion for you people during the live stream, which I may do 9 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. Eastern. Depends how long it takes me to edit this video and get it published. Right now, currently, it is 6 o'clock p.m. So I'm going to crop it up, add those videos that I keep alluding to when I say, oh, watch this video. And you know what it is? Thumbs up to all the thousands of people who are watching me for this Jonathan Majors coverage. Expect more tomorrow. and then stick around because look, I just got 4,000 subscribers and I'm pleasing the algorithm on YouTube with something that I believe in and I'm passionate about. It's just win-win-win situation everywhere. Free Palestine.